The crisis at the border now. New reports show that the number of children detained at the U.S.-Mexico border has tripled over the past 2 weeks. This comes as the number of ICE arrests fell 60% last month. White House Secretary Jen Psaki still refusing to call this a crisis.
We are continuing to work to convey to people in the region that this is not the time to come, that the majority of people who come to the border will be turned away, which is factually accurate.
At this point, is this a crisis at the border?
Look, I don't think we need to sit here and put new labels on what we have already conveyed is challenging. What we have conveyed is a top priority for the president.
Joining me right now is former U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement Acting Director, Fox News contributor Tom Homan. Tom, it's good to see you this morning. Thanks so much for being here. Wow, what an incredible change just in a 2-week period. How do you see things? What strikes you most in terms of the changed policies and its impact?
Well, look, all you got to do, they don't have to admit it's a crisis. I mean, American people can do math. This month, they're going to have over 100,000 apprehensions, which is almost a 300% increase over the same time period last year. So, when you increase illegal apprehensions by, 300%, then that's a crisis. And the amount of children that are currently in custody of U.S. Border Patrol is at an all-time high. So there is a crisis. They're ignoring it. And the reason they don't want to admit it is because they created it. Look, we had the most secure border we've ever had under President Trump. They slowly picked it apart, piece by piece, over a 2-week period, and now they have a crisis that they created. This is not by accident. This is not by incompetence. This is by design.
Well, you wonder if there was so much movement and intent to just prove that Trump policies were bad, and you just come in and you start overturning everything, as opposed to actually looking at each policy and what an overturning of that policy could mean. I mean, former President Trump is now slamming the administration and the Biden administration's handling of things. He wrote this, quote, "We ended catch and release, shut down asylum fraud, and crippled the vicious smugglers, drug dealers, and human traffickers. The wall, despite horrendous Democratic delays, would have easily been finished by now and is working magnificently. Our country is being destroyed at the southern border. A terrible thing to see," former President Trump said in a statement yesterday. So, Tom, which policy do you believe was most wrong in terms of overturning that led the way to this change and all of these children in facilities tripling?
They're doing two things that really hurt. First of all, they basically abolished ICE. The rest of the world knows that ICE has been crippled. 90% of their authority has been taken away, so there's no interior enforcement. So if you can get by the Border Patrol, no one's looking for you because ICE is only supposed to target those convicted of aggravated felony, which is a very small percentage. And the other big thing they did is end the Remain in Mexico program, because here's the facts that they don't want you to know. 88 to 90% of Central Americans who claim asylum at the border never get relief from the U.S. courts because they either don't show up or they don't qualify. That's 9 out of 10 Central Americans commit asylum fraud. And if you look at the Homeland Security, and that's available on the DOJ website, everybody can see it. If you go to the Department of Homeland Security Immigration Life Cycle Report, you see how the hundreds of thousands of family units have been ordered removed by a federal judge after due process. Less than 3% left. Less than 3% left as ordered by a judge. And what's her penalty? They're going to get amnesty under the new Biden amnesty plan. So they're the two biggest mistakes this administration has made. And again, not incompetence, not they made a mistake. This is by design.
Dagan McDowell, jump in.
And Tom, once in a blue moon, Jen Psaki will say something accidentally that really reveals what you're talking about. Yesterday, her comment was, the Biden administration, we are looking for ways to expedite the way that we vet and process families. So that's the solution. Don't hold illegal immigrants. Let them waltz in and release them immediately. They just don't have the system in place yet to allow that to happen. But what about the condition of these children who are coming in? It's going to be 45% above the record based on forecasts. How are they in sanitary conditions? Are they safe? Because there was so much outrage, particularly from celebrities in Hollywood under the Trump administration, nary a peep from them about their concern for children.
They're using a lot of the same facilities year before, but let me get to your first comment. Your first comment was very important, and it is an excellent comment. It's about how quick can we release them. Look, Ali Mayorkas was a deputy secretary during the surge in 14-15. Joe Biden was a vice president during the surge in 14-15. They know, based on experience, how we stopped that border surge back then. We did it by building detention centers and detaining people, not by seeing how quick we can release them. We did it by allowing ICE to execute final orders issued by judges to have these people removed. Because when the people were quickly removed, the border numbers went down. So the two things, they knew it worked. They're doing the opposite now, which again is the reason I say this is by design. And rather than take the enticements away like we did back then, they just keep talking more and more enticements, more amnesty, more DACA, more health care, free health care. So they're doing the complete opposite of what they've done to solve the crisis. They both have experience. I briefed both of them many times back during that surge. They know how to stop it, and they're refusing to stop it. They're doing the opposite. So that was a great. I appreciate you bringing that question up, because that's a great question.
That is really disturbing, Tom, and it's unfortunate that politics is seriously affecting so many people's lives. Tom, it's good to see you. We'll keep following it and spotlighting it for sure. Please come back soon. Thank you, Tom.
Thanks for having me.